Hi all, I am Bhavya Menon from Department of Electronics, MES College, Marampally.
Welcome all. We are going on to the new topic in microcontrollers and application, that is 8051 data types and directives. What are the directives used in 8051 and what is an 8051 directive? We have learned about the instructions, addressing modes, etc. which are used in 8051. So, what is the use of the directive? A directive is also known as pseudocode. Assembly directive is also known as pseudocode. Directives are the instructions used by the assembler to help to automate the assembly process and to improve the program readability. Assembly directives are the instructions that direct the assembler to do something. It assigns a value to a symbol which is same as our equal to sign. It sets the current origin to a new value. It is used to set the program or register address during assembly. So, we have given a different set of instructions. We have studied about a different set of instructions in 8051. These instructions will always generate a particular machine code, that is the object code to the controller. Whereas these assemblers or these directives, assembler directives, will not generate a particular machine code. It will read the code as such. That's the main difference between an instruction and a pseudo instruction. That is a code and a pseudo code. What is a data type? 8051 microcontroller has only one data type, and that is defined byte. And the defined byte directive is the most widely used data directive in the assembler. As we have studied, is an 8-bit data. It ranges from 00 to FF. So, when DB is used to define a data, the numbers can be either in decimal or it can be in binary, can be hexadecimal or it can be in ASCII formats. Now, what is defined byte? It is used to define an 8-bit data. We have studied that it can be either in decimal form, it can be either in binary form, it can be ASCII or it can be in hexadecimal value. If the number is followed by the letter D, or if you are not writing any letters after the number, it is read as decimal number. If you are giving the value and a letter B, it is reading as binary number. If we are giving the value and then we are giving the letter H, it means it is a hexadecimal number. And in ASCII, simply we are writing the characters in quotation marks. And the assembler will assign the ASCII code for the numbers or characters automatically. And we can see that the DB directive is the only directive which can be used to define ASCII strings larger than 2 characters. Hence, it should be used for all ASCII data definitions. And how we are writing directive using DB. Examples are, to begin the program, we have to use the letter, we have to use this directive org. So we are giving org 2000H, which means that 2000 is the memory location we are beginning with. And if we are using DB28, we are not writing any letter after 28. We are not writing D also. So we can say that is a decimal number. If you want, we can write 28D. Then it's also correct. If you are writing DB1234H, it means that the number is a hexadecimal number. If you are using the number DB, ABCD in codes, it means that ABCD is the ASCII character. So the assembler should convert this into hexadecimal value. And this is how the letters are represented in directives are represented in DB, defined byte. Next is origin. What is the origin? Origin means beginning of the address. ORG directive is used to indicate the beginning of the address. The number that comes after ORG can be either in hex or it can be in decimal. If the number is not followed by H, it is a decimal number, and then the assembler will convert it to hexadecimal value. If we want, we can write ORG 2000H. It means that 2000 is the hexadecimal value. If we are simply writing ORG 2000, assembler will read the 2000 as a decimal number and it will convert it to hexadecimal value. And we can also use .rg instead of org. Second one is end. End is used to indicate the assembler the end of the source file. That is, the file source program is closed. The end directive is the last line of an 8051 program, meaning that in the source code, anything after the end directive is ignored by the assembler. We can use either end or .end as the directive. So we are writing the program using org and we have to fill the program, and the last code of the program is always end. If you are writing anything after end directive, it will be ignored by the assembler. Next directive is EQU, that is equate. This is used to define the constant without occupying a memory location. The EQU directive does not set aside storage for a data item, but associates a constant value with a data label so that when the label appears in the program, the put constant value will be substituted for the label. For example, we can see that const EQU25H move a comma hash const, which means that the accumulator is loaded with a value const, that is, it is given an immediate value const, and the const is equated to 25, which means that wherever the const value appears in the program, we are using the value 25. So this is the main use of EQU, that is equate. So the accumulator is now equated to 25. Okay. And so what are directives? Directives are pseudo instructions, and the only data byte or only the data type which is used is a DB, that is data byte. It is only 8-bit value, and the 8-bit value starts from 00 to FF, and we can represent the data either in decimal form, in hexadecimal form, binary form, or in ASCII form. We have to write the letter D for decimal or without the letter, B for binary, H for hexadecimal, and the numbers written in quotes appears as an ASCII value. The next directive is origin, ORG. It can be either ORG or it can be .org, which means the origin, beginning of the address. It can be either hexadecimal or it can be decimal. Second one is end, which means that end of the program. After the end directive, nothing will be read by the assembler. We can either use end or we can use .end. And third one is EQU, that is equate, which means to equate a particular constant value to a particular variable. So wherever that value appears, that constant value is read by the assembler. And these are the three directives, and the data DB is the data type. These are the different data types and directives used in 8051. and I have attached a YouTube link. You can watch this to study about the data types and directives used in 8051. Thank you.